Hello and thank you for stopping by to unwind. Brew formerly closely associated with the Harvey side, Michael B. Jordan has determined that this is the appropriate time to come clean. A true matron, Marjorie Harvey's storage facility for skeletons was hold on to your hats though. There's a breeze in this story, and Marjorie Harvey's cunning management abilities are the enigmatic solution to a reign in the Harvey family, supposing you missed it. Marjorie Harvey commands with enduring force, a demonstration of her sharp keenness and solid self-assurance. The unique team's best course of action has been eagerly anticipated ever since Lori Harvey and Michael B. Jordan announced their love. Their adoration was strong for energetics and seemed to be solid until they got to the crux of their relationship when they were constantly throwing paygow at one another. Jordan responded with areas of strength for the melodic visitor, which occurred on Saturday Night Live, sending your melodic visitors for the evening after Lori posted an Instagram story with their caption, "Dump him on the rear of the vehicle's number plate." This was a clear indication that the relationship was not going so well. Unfortunately, it wasn't just Lori Harvey and Michael B. Jordan in their relationship. Drake and 21 Savage were performing a song from one of the most intriguing collections ever. As Lori's stepfather and mother, respectively, they significantly impacted her life and relationships. Steve Harvey and Marjorie Harvey were also significant participants. Particularly for a mother who strictly controlled her family's workout regimen, Marjorie was regarded as a strong suit. After their separation, Steve Harvey posted "Love Yourself My GII," and Marjorie also shared a video of herself joking around about it. Michael is said to have been upset by Marjorie's effect on Lori and the association because he felt Marjorie's contribution was excessive and it made him feel observed or examined. "Michael, you said in an overly long and stench-filled sentence to hold off on leaving." In addition, as if that wasn't enough, the interference of Steve and Marjorie infused an additional portion of strain, leaving Michael choked on his own personality in the middle of the chaos. It was rumored that Marjorie could have unobtrusively intervened if the couple's tension had reached its boiling point. "He isn't the hottest man on the planet to me by any means, gracious to you by any stretch of the imagination, and I haven't tracked down anything to you who is the hottest man on the planet, me this multitude of people is what I'm paying for not once, but multiple times," and Steve's recently expressed profound respect for Michael suddenly took on another shade just after Marjorie crafted her perplexing trap of impact. If a man can step outside of his comfort zone and secure an entire aquarium for his sweetheart to enjoy on Valentine's Day, he can accomplish more. There is no denying that Michael treated Lori like the princess she is, but Marjorie's intrusiveness and obstruction essentially switched to Marjorie. Steve openly praised Michael and expressed his happiness that her little girl had met someone so thoughtful and accommodating. In a previous meeting, Steve Harvey never openly pursued Jordan. Instead, he became enamored with Michael, insisting that no matter how hard he tried to hate him, he couldn't because he's just a very attractive person. Steve praised Michael Pololo. Steve evidently appreciated Michael, and the respect was reciprocated, thanks to Ken's considerate treatment of everyone on the set. Steve likewise met Michael's family, and all his affection and regard for this young fellow prompted his astonishing childhood from his exquisite guardians. So Steve knew Michael actually, however, at that point the story took a sensational turn since Lori began dating Michael. Steve didn't appear to be exceptionally steady in the relationship. One of the most popular moments was the point at which he appeared on Ellen's show and ran over an image where Lori was perched on Michael's lap. Presently, that Makes him damnation anxious, entirely awkward with that image, not too far off, meaning he stopped for a period prior to answering, making sense of the fact that he was unable to endorse or object to. Lori's connections. So, since Steve has previously expressed that Michael is the most delightful individual he has ever met, what is the reason for his faltering in any case? It's a sight likewise be fact that Steve wavered in light of the fact that Lori recently had a tragic dating history. I've been dating for more than a year at this point. If he somehow managed to request to wet her, could you endorse it? I would need to express myself up to this point. Goodness, definitely, definitely, definitely. Goodness, man. Lori Harvey's troubled past is distinguished by the fact that she had relationships with men who've had troubled past. In particular, she came into contact with a rapper who had a checkered foundation and was known for being unfaithful and abusing drugs. Although Lori initially seemed thrilled, their relationship quickly soured. Her subsequent association with Diddy, a person plagued by rumors about his private life, further increases the curiosity given this particular situation. Given Lori's background and lack of any significance, Steve's passing delay could simply be explained by a routine parental concern, but uncertainty began to grow as others questioned whether Steve still felt the same way about Michael as he had, all things considered. Steve's quick shift in tone and attitude demonstrated the negative effect Marjorie had on him. Marjorie by and by demonstrated that she was behind this when her BFF Lisa Beam tossed disdain towards Michael B. Jordan, expressing that there may be an issue of his ex assuming a significant part in prompting his new separation with Lori. Indeed, even the fans were wowed by a particularly zesty charge about Michael and started considering how genuine it could truly be presently. What Lisa Beam said made it clear that Marjorie's contribution to this is greater than whatever we anticipated on the offer. Chance that Marjorie was open to discussing her girl's deplorability and the motivations behind why Michael might have harmed her. This is the evidence all of you have been hanging tight for, which came out in a roundabout way through her BFF's mouth. Her comments attacked Lori and Michael's security and showed an absence of sympathy for the pair during this most likely difficult second. Marjorie's tendency to talk prior to believing was self-evident, and her comments may periodically have horrendous impact. Indeed, even Steve's significant other and exes can clash on occasions, since she wears pants at the Harvey house, as per the sometime in the past source. If you didn't know, Marjorie was being investigated while married to sedative master Jim Lounsind, who was accused of trying to buy 40 kg of cocaine according to Radar on the web. Things get confusing. Currently, Marjorie is so close to being secured in jail, and it is extremely difficult for the fans to watch as she is in prison. Townsend, Jimmy L. Now that you have served more than 20 years in prison and 27 years since you were 28, you don't seem to be dealing with anything. Since you were first sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, assuming you count the year I spent in the state when I was just starting out in the game, you've been out for roughly 4, 5, or 6 years. According to her ex, 6 years ago in January, the medication master who admitted full responsibility for capturing Marjorie in order to prevent her from being tested was also executed by her. She likely had an illicit relationship with him. What's amusing is how she continued dating a later married Darnell, who was allegedly another street chemist and Jim's cousin, while continuing to act indifferent to Jim's prison sentence. You all lie to me. Better believe they lied to you. Gracious, I need to impart some knowledge to you, Marjorie. I just finished doing my makeup, and although it took a lot of time and effort, I wanted to share with you a few things. Despite the fact that Darnell Woods was incarcerated at the time and had a difficult time dealing with the FBI, she still managed to avoid going to jail. Relationship between Marjorie and Steve Harvey has consistently interested the general public, with many scrutinizing her thought processes and marrying him. However, the reality of the situation was that Marjorie and Steve had a muddled history that started sometime before they ever got together. At the point when they initially met back in 1990, Steve was simply beginning in his profession and was a long way from the well-off and effective man he is today. Then again, Marjorie was searching for somebody with a solid foundation to help her, not some broken individual. In spite of Steve's undying adoration for Marjorie, the timing was never ideally suited for them to seek after a relationship. Years after the fact, they at last wed after Steve had achieved success and security. Notwithstanding Marjorie's initial hesitance to be with Steve, has prompted charges of her being a gold digger. Regardless of their romantic tale being undeniably more convoluted this yet, she likewise somehow persuaded Steve to embrace every one of her 3 children. Furthermore, very much like that, she got a handle on everyone. There were occasions when she even manipulatively figured out how to remove Steve's organic children from the family social affairs and photographs. She ensured her children, particularly Laurie, certainly stood out with all the affection, which is very shameful to Steve's organic youngsters. Indeed, even Michael B. Jordan knew about the Harvey family's concerns. For example, how Steve's different kids are jealous of Steve's number 1 girl, Laurie, and how Marjorie had a huge part in laying out time-life disparities among everybody. Subscribe Relax Brew for more videos.